And honestly, the reason why I'm doing this again and starting it back up is because I was at my boy Jake's house, and we're just chatting about everything under the sun and all that. And then Ange, shout out to Ange, she was like, "Yo, you still doing the podcast, whatever?" And personally, I didn't even think Ange listened to the podcast or even knew about it. Honestly, when she said that, I was like, "Oh shoot, thank you." Like I didn't even, I didn't even think that you would even knew about it or even listen to one or whatever it may be. I was like, "Wow, thank you." I mean, that means a lot for real. And since she said that, I'm like, you know what? Let me start it back up. Let me start it back up because it gives me a way to dive into my thoughts about whatever it may be. And I had a lot to think about lately, and I've had a lot to think about lately. And why not record it, right? Maybe you guys can relate to this. Maybe this will help you. Maybe not. And I just hope you can get something from this. But so something that I hold like that's one of my core values, you can say, is how I represent myself. And I feel like that's something people need to hold more weight to because it really does matter how you represent yourself because you represent who you love. You represent who loves you. And if you're out here wilding, acting a fool, doing this and that, you're just making your loved ones look bad too. You are a representation of them when they're not there. You have to start moving like that. You have to start holding yourself accountable like that. And for me, I hold myself to a high value in that aspect, especially because I might be I might be someone's first introduction to my friends. I might be someone's first introduction to my family. So I want to put on a good representation of who they are and what we represent. And if I'm out here acting a fool, doing this and that, talking crazy, being wild, like that's gonna reflect poorly on them as well. So acting like there's a camera following you everywhere because people are watching. And it does not mean you can't do the things you love. I'm talking about worrying about what other people think. I'm talking about having that accountability for yourself to move correctly, move the right way, move like there's a camera following you everywhere, doing the right things. I know sometimes when I move off the course of who I am and act out of character, whether it's just when I, go out or maybe this and that, like after I do that, I feel like after I do that, I'm like, dang man, I don't, why did I even, like, there's no point in that. Like that could be the first time someone sees who I am, you know what I mean? And like that, I could just be burning bridges by acting that way. And I don't want to burn bridges. And I don't want to burn bridges for other people as well, other people that love me and that I love. I don't want to burn bridges for them. So I need to make sure I'm carrying myself in the way that other people can gravitate towards. It doesn't mean that you have to be so outgoing, talking to everyone, being the center of attention, all that. No, but you gotta move with class, with integrity. You need to move with your chest up, knowing that you are not the only one being looked at. When people look at you, they're getting an insight into your world, into your family, into your friends. So be a good representation of that because you don't know what can come from when you're meeting new people, building new relationships. Because it might not directly impact you, but it can impact your friends and family. You could meet someone that is in a certain job field and oh, I'm looking for a new so and so for my business. Oh shoot, Johnny, my boy Johnny, he's actually looking for a job or he's great in that, and then you could put them on. So it's all about just making sure you're moving the right way because it doesn't only impact you, but impacts your loved ones who loves you. This is thing I think about a lot, honestly, and it's can we really not take things for granted? You know what I mean? Like you could be so immersed in something, like say it's a family gathering, you could be so immersed in it, not on your phone, you're in the moment the whole time, right? But after it's over, you still feel like you didn't do enough. You still feel like you didn't take advantage of that time. Like, dang, I wish I did this and that. Oh no, it slipped out of my hands. So it's like, aren't we always gonna have that what if? Like, not that what if, I'm sorry. Are we always gonna have that yearning of feeling of not doing enough, not taking full advantage of the moment? Because I don't know. It's just a weird thing, like a weird phrase talking about not taking things for granted because There's always something that you wish you could have done. But maybe that's the point of it, to always have that little feeling of after something great happens, you're like, dang, I wish I could go back. Dang, I wish I would have did more of this. Dang, this and that. Maybe it's that still having that little feeling makes for our next moment for us to even go harder in our focus of living in that moment. It gives us a reminder that the little petty things that we are concerned about doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because we would rather have those petty moments happen. No, we wouldn't honestly, we wouldn't remember those petty moments for real if we just focused on the moment. Because those petty moments are just a distraction from you, from living in the moment, from really focusing on what matters. And it's crazy because we all get caught up in the petty moments. Like, there's no one, well, at least anyone I know, there's no one that doesn't get caught up in the petty moments. And that's where I feel like reading, hear me out, y'all, hear me out. So that's where I feel like reading comes into play. And you're like, how does reading and focus on petty things like correlate? Well, when you start reading, you start practicing focusing on living in the moment. Because if you're reading a book and then you have the TV on and then you're on FaceTime and then you're working on a project, like, you're really not going to digest any of that book, right? You're not really going to get out of it what you're supposed to get out of it. So when you start reading, that's just you putting in the reps of living in the moment, practicing focusing on the moment, and really regurgitating what is happening in the information that's happening in that moment of you reading. And I feel like I'm telling you, the best secrets, they're not even secrets because they're public, but the best knowledge and information that you can get is from reading books. I'm telling you, the best knowledge is in books. They hide it in books. You want to know why? Because no one wants to read. No one wants to go to the store and grab a book. No one wants to go listen to an audiobook, rather listen to some music or whatever it may be. But the best knowledge and information you can get, if you really want to expand your life and grow your life and start becoming that person you see in your head, and you're sick and tired of your life, the mundane life that you're living right now, you need to start reading. You don't even have to take a physical book. It could be an ebook. You can listen to an audio book. Like, I'm telling you, the best kept information is in books. Sometimes you're going to have to read it a few times, listen to it a few times. But that's how you get the information and be able to apply it to your life. Take some notes. Oh, wait, I found that interesting. Oh, I can use that in my life. Write it down. Put it in your notes. You know what I mean? So, like, really give it a try. Here's some books that if you really want to change your situation and really get to that next step, the next level of growth in your life, I would say The 4 Agreements. There's a free audiobook on YouTube as well if you don't want to read it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You might think, oh, that's only about money, this and that. No, it has money's just a tool. At the end of the day, money's just a tool. So you can either use it as a tool or you can use it as a way of life. You can either use it as a tool or you look at it as a God and worship it and think it's the end all be all. No, it's a tool for you to get what you want in life. It's a tool for you to get the time. It's a tool for you to free up the time in your life. Because the biggest thing, the most important thing we have is time. And it's the most fleeting thing we have. So we want to make the most of our time. But you can't do that if you're just working all day and then you have to work extra hours to do this and that. And then you can't go on vacation whenever you want because you have to go into the office. So yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The 4 Agreements, The Secret, Everything's F, a book about hope, and Think and Grow Rich. Those are probably like the 5 to 6 books I would definitely recommend for you if you want to start changing your life. There's plenty others as well, but those are like the biggest ones with the biggest impact. You know, right now in my book club, if you want to join the book club, link in bio. But right now in my book club, we are reading Think and Grow Rich. So if you want to join, link below, y'all. So basically what the book club is about, it's just growth, just a group of people coming together because they want to grow and see others' perspectives to help them in their own journey in life, to grow to that next level, to get to that next level, to have an accountability group really to help them stay on track with building themselves. Because if you're not building, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're not achieving your goals that you want. Throughout this whole podcast, I talked about being that person you see in your head. And I'm on the road to that. And like I talk about the falling into temptation, recently I, fell into some temptations, and looking back, I can see the events that led to it. I was on this certain routine that I would do every day when I would wake up in the middle of the day before bed, and then I started to veer away from my routine. I started to veer away from my routine, and eventually, I fell. Doesn't mean I did anything terrible or bad, but like, I wasn't being the person who I wanted to be. And when I fell, it was like, it hurt, bro. It hurt a lot because I'm like, yo, I'm not even close to that person. That would the person I want to be, the person I see in my head, would they be doing that? Would they be acting this way? Would they be doing these things? No, they wouldn't, because they wouldn't have time for it, because they are too busy working on being better. That person doesn't do those things, and I fell into doing those things again. And it's crazy. Last year around this time, if I acted the way I did acted when I fell into temptation last year around this time, I'd be cool with it. I wouldn't even be stressing or nothing. But like, since I've been on this journey of being that person and strictly doing the things that that person would do that would help me fall into that role, it's just night and day. Like, I wouldn't even blink an eye last year. But now I'm like, I was just so hurt by it. It's just crazy, So I guess that's a testament of my growth, but it's also a testament of how much farther I have to go, how much harder I have to work. So when you're becoming that person you want to be, don't just think it'll just happen randomly. You need to start acting like that person. You need to start acting like that high value person. So you need to start doing the things that person would do. Like, for example, if you wanted to become a millionaire in a certain avenue, you need to look up and research those people in that certain niche, in that avenue, and start acting like them, start dressing like they do. I'm not saying personality-wise you have to, talk like them, walk like them, drink the same coffee as them. No, but you need to start acting like them, as in you can start dressing like them if you want. You need to start doing the things they do, start doing the exercises they do. How many times do they work out? What do they eat? What do they read? How much time do they spend with friends? How many times do they go out? Do they wake up early in the morning? How much extra time do they put into their job, into their business? You need to study that person, take from their life the positive that they do, and start implementing it into your own life. And you need to start cutting out the crap that is not serving you. Look me in my eyes. Cut out the crap that is not serving you. Those crappy friends that are content with their life and all they do is just drink, go to the local bar, go to work, go home, and just recycle. Get away from those friends. Doesn't mean I talk about this all the time. Does not mean you can't talk to them ever again, but you need to start separating yourself, because they're going to just keep pulling you back in, pulling you back in. They'll start transferring that energy of, oh, no, yo, John, you don't need to do that today. You're good, bro. You've been working so hard. You can relax. No, because we don't got time. We don't got time to relax, bro. We don't. If you don't go get it now, there's come a day when you don't even have the opportunity to even chase it. So start getting rid of those friends. Start getting rid of that junk food, that processed food. All these foods that we were taught to eat by society, like the candy, the sugar, especially just sugar in general. It's just so bad for you. It's slowing you down. It's slowing us down, just mentally, spiritually, physically, in all aspects. It's slowing us down. Start eating real food, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, steak, whatever it may be. Start eating real foods. None of that processed stuff no more. Once you start really focusing on who you want to be, after the first 2 weeks, you're going to feel those changes. It might just be a little bit, but you're going to start feeling those changes, and it's going to feel amazing. And then after a month, 2 months, you're going to start feeling great. I'm telling y'all, you are more than what you are now. You have it in you, and you're going to fail. This whole podcast is about failing and using that as a stepping stool to go higher and to go further. You got it. But you need to start making those changes in your everyday routine. You need to start surrounding yourself with better friends, with better people, people that are higher than you. Because if you're going to stick to the same thing you've always been doing, you can't complain about where you're at. You can't complain. It's like someone complaining about their body, barring they have any diseases or deformities or like something they were just born with or something out of the control. Besides that, how are you going to complain about your body but you're not doing anything about it. Oh, I'm so skinny, I'm this and that, but you're not eating more. You're not eating the right things to gain weight. Oh, I feel like I'm chubby today. I'm chubby, I'm fat, but you're not going on no runs. You're not in the weight room. You're not eating healthier. So how are you going to complain about something when you haven't even tried to do anything about it? We need to stop the victim mindset. That's the number one thing that's hurting people, is the victim mindset. At the end of the day, you can say we're all victims in one way or another, whether it's from bad parenting, racism, prejudice, classism, the government. We all have our disparities. And I'm not saying those aren't real things. They are. But don't let that hold you back. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that be the door that's locked, because you could just break down that door. Because when you stop focusing on that and understand that no one is going to save you except God, you need to go up and get it yourself. No matter who's the president, no matter who's the mayor, at the end of the day, you need to go get it yourself. You need to go fend for yourself. And then once you start doing that, start making these changes, start becoming that person, start growing, and then everything around you is going to start changing, and you're going to see more success, more love, more positivity in your life, because everything's going to fall into place once you start. Manifestation is a real thing. What you think about is what you attract in your life. How you move is what you attract in your life. So start making those changes today, man. You have it in you. We all have it in us. It's just whether we start doing it or not. Kiana texted me today, and she's like, bring back the pod. And I was like, funny enough, I'm recording one right now. I'm bringing it back. And should I do guests again? Should I bring guests back? Or should I just keep it solo, just me, just talking about what's been on my mind? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are back, and I appreciate all you guys.